Hello, my name is Augustina Ive. I am a bilingual therapist and the Director of Clinical Services at KSARC. I am honored to be joined by Michelle, a former client, who is here to share a little bit about her story. Michelle, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am 30 years old. I have a 5-year-old daughter, almost 5-year-old daughter. She's amazing. I have a lovely husband, and I am a chemical engineer. Right now, I am a Spanish teacher, and I have been living here since 2018.
Can you share with us a little bit about your story? What brought you
Ye-
to KSARC?
yes. Well, when I was 9 years old, I was spending the night with my family. It was a party. And then I asked my mom if I could sleep with my grandparents because I love them so much. I have recently moved to my new house, so I used to live with them. I miss them so much. I asked my mom to tell me yes, and I feel so joyful. Then I went to sleep with them, and I remember to fall asleep. I remember to feel happy because I was with my grandmother. But then, at some point of the night, I start to feel pressure on my breast, and I feel uncomfortable. I didn't know what was happening. Then I feel the pressure again, and I realized that was my grandfather who was touching my breast. Um, in that moment, I didn't know what to do. I was afraid because I remember I was feeling great, and then I feel fear. Then I remember look him in the eye, trying to let him know that I realized what he was doing, but he didn't stop. Uh, then his hand slid down, and he started to touch my vagina, and I looked him again, maybe in my 9-year-old mind, trying to uh, believe so hard to myself that making him know that I know what he was doing will make him stop, but it won't. Um, Somehow I remember to tell him, Grandpa, stop, please, stop. And after that, I don't remember anything. I block it. The very next memory that I have is telling my mom what happened. Um, she believed me. She supported me right away. She kept me from them, from my grandparents. She kept me safe. That's what happened when I was 9.
So your mom did a lot to protect you and keep you safe. And families often have a really hard time believing that someone they love and respect can do something like this. What was your family's response at the time?
I remember a lot of fights because obviously my mom was mad as crazy. It was difficult. We couldn't make a police report that time because it was hard. I think it's still hard on Mexico try to make a police report because you have to show proofs, and I didn't have any. I remember my uncles screaming my mom and my dad in the middle. I remember feeling like I broke my family, and for a 9-year old, that's a very heavy pressure. Um, but I think somehow my uncles believe what my grandpa did.
So you eventually grew up and got married and became a mom. What was it like to be a mother given your past history of sexual abuse?
It's a bunch of emotions, mix of feelings, because obviously it's amazing. I love my daughter, but at the same time, I start to feel that fear again, that something could happen, something like happened to me, to my daughter. Uh, I was extremely protective with her. I want her to have her in a bubble. I take care of her 24/7. Even I stopped working as a chemical engineer because of that fear, because the fear that someone could happen to her. So as I stopped like my life taking care of her, I developed depression and PTSD, and I realized that it wasn't good for me and for her. And I I found out KSARC.
How did you find KSARC?
I remember that I was in a doctor appointment. Um, then I saw a big poster on the wall. The poster said uh, group therapy for victims of sexual assault. And I say, well, that's me. I need help. So I made a call. I told her how I feel. Even I was in tears
Mhm.
because my main worry was my daughter, and she made me feel that it was okay to feel that way. That many mm, victims, and I'm sorry, suffer of this, that fear. And then she refers me to Claudia. Claudia was my therapist. She's an amazing person, and I start to take therapy.
Hmm. And I am a therapist at KSARC.
Yeah.
What was it like for you to be in therapy? What was that process like?
Well, the process was kind of hard because um, Claudia explained me that I had to repeat that memories one time and another time and repeated times, that I may feel um, more depressed or more sad, but eventually I will get better, and that works. With her help, I ended up writing down all my story with every detail, what happened, the colors of the quilts, everything. And every time I face that, I feel more powerful. I feel fearless about that. And I felt so powerful, and I still feel so powerful, that I ended up to post my whole story on my social media.
Wow, how did you make that decision?
Uh, I made that decision because I don't want anybody who passed through this to keep silent. Because when you keep silent, you stay in that dark bubble and you cannot get out of there. I want that everybody knows that the help is available for them through KSARC. That Be Loud, that is the main reason that I made that post, that speak up of that.
Yes, Be Loud is precisely our tagline. Was your followers' response to your post?
Well, the people who is near uh, for me, they post very positive comments telling me how brave I am. And I'm sorry, but feeling brave is kind of new for me. It's great, but new. Mm, that I was powerful and I was brave. And I just keep that. I think some of my father's family members may know what happened with me, but didn't know how. Um, and didn't post anything or didn't like anything. But some others like my post, and we all realized that I wasn't the only one abused by my grandfather. So it was great. It was real. I was relieved and I feel powerful too.
What's your life like now? What has changed for you?
I'm able to let anyone else to look after my daughter. That I think is the best or the most important for me, because now I have time for me. I can take care of myself too. Mm, Now I have a part-time job that I enjoy a lot. I'm able to let my daughter learn things by herself, not keeping her in that bubble. And eventually I want to get a full-time job. So I every time I feel more confident about it.
Michelle, what would you want other survivors of childhood sexual abuse to know?
I want them to know that there is help there for them, like KSARC. I want them to know KSARC, and that speak up, uh, be loud, as you say, because it's the only way to get out of this dark bubble. I want them that. I want them to know that KSARC is here. And one of the most important things that it's for me is that I know KSARC has therapists that speak Spanish, and that's important too because people who cannot or had limited English could get help. So KSARC is amazing.
Michelle, thank you so much for sharing your story and speaking with us today.
Thank you so much to you.